Imagine you're 22, casually swiping on a dating app, and you match with a guy named Hunter. Things start off pretty normal. You go on your first date, just a quick coffee, less than an hour long, basically a screening to make sure he doesn't seem like a complete weirdo. He passes the test, seems okay. Second date is at a nearby bar. You both have a few drinks, get a nice buzz going, and it's actually a really good time, relaxed and fun. Third date is dinner, and that's when you start questioning things a little. You wonder if you really click with his personality or if there's something slightly off about him, some vibe you can't quite put your finger on. The date ends with a kiss, the first and only time you ever kiss him, and you convince yourself that since you let it happen, everything must be all right. A couple weeks pass and you agree to a fourth date, drinks again, but this time you're not as excited. You're paying closer attention to his little quirks, the way he acts, and you realize some of his mannerisms are kind of unusual, antisocial, borderline creepy. It's hard to explain exactly, but something feels wrong. He starts drinking way too much on this date, gets really touchy-feely at the bar, tries to kiss you multiple times even though you're clearly not into it. You hate PDA, especially sitting at a bar with people right next to you, so you politely turn him down every time. After a few minutes, you say you're tired, heavily implying it's time to go. He asks for the check, pays, you both grab your coats and leave. As you're walking to your cars in the parking lot, he stops you and very bluntly asks if you can go home together. You say, not tonight, you're tired and have work tomorrow, which is a lie. Shockingly, he keeps pushing, saying he'll drive you to work tomorrow and whatever else. Whether he's drunk or not, it's absurd, and you're also not thrilled about him drunk driving. You decide right then you won't see him again. You get in your car, drive home slowly because you had a couple drinks, not drunk but cautious, and you're extra alert, checking your mirrors, looking for cops. That's probably why you notice the same car behind you after you make at least 3 turns. At a stoplight, you look closer and realize it's Hunter's car. Your heart starts pounding. You text him, "Are you following me?" He texts back almost immediately, "Yes, I just want to make sure you get home okay." You call him, but he won't pick up. This is so weird and creepy. You pull over, text him to stop following you, you're fine. He stops in the middle of the street for a second, probably reading the text, then drives off. He doesn't text back until you're home and in bed. His message, "I hope I didn't weird you out tonight. Sorry I got so drunk. Next time we should do something more low-key, like dinner at my place or something." You don't answer. The next morning he follows up, "Oh no, is the vibe dead?" Not even 2 hours later, just a question mark. You decide to reply before it gets worse. "Hey, I had a great time getting to know you, but I just think our personalities don't click that much. I also really just want to focus on myself right now. I hope you understand." That's when the angry texts start pouring in. The worst one, "No, I don't understand. You strung me along for 4 dates to tell me that? How about you pay me back half of everything I bought for you?" A few more angry texts come with personal information you don't want to repeat, but they're bad enough that you block him right away. You think that's the end, but then the no caller ID phone calls start, non-stop. You ignore them all until he finally stops. The next day, your parents aren't home. You get back from work and find a bouquet of flowers on the stoop with a card, an apology from Hunter, asking for a second chance. He somehow knew exactly where you lived. In his mind, this must have seemed charming or sweet, but in reality, it's extremely alarming. You send him one long final text. "Please don't contact me anymore. Never come to my house again, or I'll file for a restraining order." You keep his number blocked so you don't see any reply. You think it's finally over, but you're wrong. Not long after, you're home alone for the night. Your parents' house is big. Your bedroom is a loft, the highest point in the house. You wake up in the middle of the night to noises you can't quite place at first. You listen closely and hear what is obviously a door opening from outside your bedroom, one of the upstairs doors. Nobody is supposed to be home. Even half asleep, you think, intruder. You crawl out of bed onto the floor, shimmy under the bed, call 911. You text everyone in your family, "Who's home?" You hear distant noises from another bedroom. Then your bedroom door opens. Footsteps come up the carpeted stairs. They reach the top step, and there's silence. The whole room is carpeted, so no footsteps after that. Then you hear drawers next to your bed opening. You hold your mouth to mask your breathing, heart racing. A man's voice mutters under his breath, "God damn it." In that moment, you think it sounds like Hunter. You don't move. You pray your phone doesn't notify. More rummaging. He's going through your entire dresser. Then you feel and hear the bed move as he sits down. You're staring at the outline of 2 shoes through the bed skirt, visible even in the dark. You don't know what he's doing on the bed, but he sits there for over 2 to 3 minutes before getting up. He mutters, "Fucking," under his breath. Drawers close, footsteps back down the stairs, door shutting, then more footsteps down to the living room. You call 911 again, whisper into the phone just to be safe. You stay under the bed for 10 to 15 minutes until police arrive. You go down to meet them at the front door. Even that's tense. You let them in, tell them everything. They do a sweep, another officer arrives. A woman helps search. Turns out every window was unlocked, and the dining room window is big enough for someone to crawl through, though the bushes in front make it seem impossible. You give a verbal statement, get a report number, they leave. When your parents come home the next day, they already know from your texts and calls. You all go to the police station with the report number, give screenshots including him admitting he followed you home. They say they'll investigate, but without solid proof it was him inside the house, it's tricky. The case eventually loses steam. You successfully get a restraining order, and you're advised to never accuse him of breaking in or contact him anymore. Thankfully, he doesn't, but from then until you move out of your parents' house, you're always uncomfortable, always feeling like he might be creeping around outside. Even today, you sometimes fear he might find out where you currently live. This happened when I was in 6th grade. It all started during the week of Halloween when I would stay after school to help decorate a haunted house for the school's Halloween carnival. I often got to stay late and fool around with friends, and we got rewarded with pizza for helping. Along with my friends, there was this other kid who stayed late too. I'll call him Chris. We got along the whole time we were there after school. He was genuinely funny and cool, never once made me feel uneasy. Fast forward 2 weeks later, I'm suddenly approached by a group of girls in my grade, all excited with wide grins. I ask what's going on, and they tell me I have a secret admirer and he'll be texting me tonight. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't at least a little excited or curious. Later that night, right before bed, I get a notification from Messenger, the only app I had back then for talking to my parents when home alone. The message is from Chris. I'd completely forgotten I added him on Facebook on Halloween. I open it. "Maya, I need to talk to you." I get concerned and reply quickly, "Yeah, what's going on? Everything okay?" To this day, I wish I hadn't replied. Typing bubbles appear and stay for a good 2 minutes, feels like forever. Then the long paragraph comes. He confesses his love, says I've been driving him crazy since Halloween, explains how he tried to impress me during recess with his soccer skills but I never noticed, says he's growing tired of being ignored, and ends with, "I want you to notice me, so I guess what I'm trying to say is, will you be my girlfriend?" I cringed at every word. I stared at it for a long time. What the hell? I barely know this kid anymore. We drifted apart ages ago. I try to let him down easy so I don't hurt his feelings. I tell him I don't like him like that and just want to be friends. Right away, I can tell he doesn't like the answer. He keeps asking why. I come up with reasons each time until he eventually stops answering. Next morning is a nightmare. Some of his friends keep coming up to me saying Chris wants to kiss me. He told the entire grade he wants to do it, and he'll do it even if it means cornering me. I take that as a threat and tell my teacher. She says to stay inside during recess and lunch, and if he gets close, run back to the classroom. That's not enough for me. I report him to the principal, who says he'll do something right away, which gives me some relief. I should mention I lived right across the street from school, and everyone knew that, including Chris. Later that week, I'm walking home from school. I haven't even been inside more than 2 minutes when someone knocks on the front door. I peek out the window just in time to see someone duck behind a parked car across the street. It had to be Chris. He must have followed me. Mom opens the door, finds a piece of paper on the floor addressed to me. I read it out loud. There's a surprise waiting under the Cadillac in the driveway, which belonged to my brother at the time. Mom goes to check. Nothing there. But after that day, my brother's Cadillac stops working.
I still don't know what Chris did to it, but my brother had to sell it. Unfortunately, the nightmare doesn't end. Chris's friends constantly harass me, telling me to give him a chance, that he'll treat me right. There's even a moment I catch him taking a picture of me walking home. I only notice because I barely hear the iPhone camera click behind me. Who knows how many photos he had. Every morning I wake up to a message from him. I can't wait to see you at school, or I bet you'll look beautiful today. The harassment and stalking keep getting worse, making me fear for my safety, especially since he knows where I live. Finally, I get called to the counselor's office, thinking relief is coming. Maybe Chris gets in trouble or cops get involved. Instead, she tells me boys will be boys. They do crazy things when in love. I shouldn't be mad. I should feel flattered. This kind of stuff is bound to happen, and the only thing I can do is accept it and learn from it. At the time, I don't see the problem with her words. I believe her. Looking back, it's insane and disturbing to say that to a 6th grader being sexually harassed and fearing for her safety every day. That afternoon, I come home and tell my mom everything the counselor said. Mom is rightfully furious. I'm called to the principal's office again that week, this time with Mom present. I remember Mom telling the counselor and principal, "What are you waiting for? For something bad to happen to her before you do something?" She asks why it's taking so long. They stay silent. Mom ends it by threatening the counselor, telling her never to speak to me again unless she's present. Unfortunately, I don't think the school ever punished Chris. He basically got away with everything, which still enrages me to this day. It doesn't even end there. One night during the weekend, parents gone shopping. I'm about to go to bed after watching a YouTube video on my iPad. I hear something at my window. I'm on the 2nd floor, so it's strange. Only birds accidentally hit it. I sit up, listening. It happens again. Sounds like something thrown at the glass. Then again and again, consistent thuds. I get the courage to get up, open the curtain, look down. My heart drops. Chris is standing there holding a handful of rocks, looking up at my window. He somehow figured out exactly which one was mine. He's about to throw another when he notices me. I can see he's saying something, but I don't wait. I check every window and door, everything locked. Back in my room, I get 4 messages from him. "I can't leave. I just want to talk. I'm sorry. All I wanted was a kiss. Please forgive me. You are not who I thought you were. Bye." I block him after that. Thankfully, no more incidents, even though I had to see him from 6th grade to senior year. Last thing I heard, he was arrested. God only knows for what. The saddest and scariest part is that a counselor was comfortable telling me this behavior was a compliment and a learning experience for me as a girl. I just hope that woman no longer works with children, and I never have to see Chris again.
I want to stay as anonymous as possible with this. It's a very serious occurrence that gave me PTSD and scarred me. I've changed all towns and names so it can't be traced back. I've been a reclusive person most of my life. It started young. Teachers told my parents I had antisocial behavioral problems. I was even put in special 20-minute classes for speech and behavior in elementary school. I didn't understand why back then. Middle school pressures hit hard. Kids formed friend groups. High school made it worse. No learning disabilities, just social issues that got better over time, but I'm still awkward and introverted. I've made close friends now, grateful for that. Being a social recluse comes with trouble with girls. Not to get too graphic, but it means something to the story. I lost my virginity at 21. A bit late, I'd say. At 23, I moved out of my parents' place. I'd been working a high-paying job in my field for a couple years, bought a townhouse in my hometown, affordable but nice and big, 2 floors, the kind of place that would impress girls at 23 if you owned it. One day, swiping on Tinder, I match with a pretty decent-looking girl. I'll call her Emily. We go on a date at a nearby restaurant for dinner. I'm a little in my head, thinking she's judging me or I'm acting awkward. By the end, I feel like she'll never want to see me again. But when I'm in bed after getting home, she texts she really liked me and had fun. I'm ecstatic. We go on a 2nd, 3rd, 4th date. Things feel great once I get out of my head. We become boyfriend-girlfriend fairly quickly, but the honeymoon phase doesn't last forever. At first, you get excited at every text or call, crave the attention because it's mutual. Slowly, I start feeling she's texting too much, all times of day. Where are you? If I'm doing something or slow to respond, she calls or sends question marks. One day on the couch, she demands we share locations. I'm not thrilled, but I have nothing to hide, so I do it. A couple months in, location shared, things go really sour. She asks why I'm at Phil's house and not answering texts. It gets so bad that one night I'm with Phil and Mark in Phil's basement on a Friday. She actually shows up. Phil's mom walks her downstairs. She doesn't hide she's pissed, speaks loud, almost yelling, reprimanding me for goofing around instead of answering about some winery the next day. I ask if we can discuss later. She insists I leave with her. I apologize to my friends, go outside, argument in the street. She wants to come home with me. I say no. We drove separately. I drive home, tell her not to follow. At home, I send a long text. We need a break. I need space. Should have done it in person? Probably, but in the moment, I was scared of her reaction face to face. She starts calling over and over, blowing up my phone. I stop answering. Aggressive pounding at my front door, constant doorbell rings. Gets so bad my neighbor comes out asking what she's doing. I hear her screaming, "He's a piece of shit," etc. Neighbor calmly tells her to go home. I listen with my ear to the door. She leaves. I'm disturbed. Signs were there, but honeymoon blinded me. Next day, I stop sharing location. As if she was obsessively checking, she blows up angrily for turning it off. I'm more sure I need to cut ties. My final text, "I'm sorry, Emily, I have to block you for a while. You're scaring me." Surprisingly, no knocking, but she stops sharing her location too. Exactly 1 week later, I go to Phil's again, chill with the guys, leave around 11 p.m., get home. Not tired, hungry, throw food in microwave, pop on couch to watch a movie, browsing streaming for something scary. Microwave beeps, goes silent. I hear a click or thud from dining room. Layout, downstairs loops, kitchen to dining to living to den, separated by walls, but dining has a door, not an opening. For complete silence, I mute the TV. I hear the door between den and dining clicking open. I peer in, blurt, "Who's in here?" No response. I enter dining room, blood cold. Door is open. I always keep doors shut. I go to kitchen, grab the biggest knife from the block, call 911. First time in my life. I speak loud so whoever hears, "I think my crazy ex-girlfriend has broken into my house. Please send someone." Rest of the call explains why I think it's her. They tell me wait outside if possible. I go out, wait near the front door. Police car rolls up quick. I explain again. Lead officer inside. We search thoroughly together. No one. Check crawl space and closet, every closet, under beds, couches, mini attic. Coast clear. He says call again if anything. Believes me, knows I'm not crazy. Night disturbed. Can't sit in the living room. Eat cold food from the microwave, go upstairs, lock bedroom door, text friends and family how spooked I am. Given no one found, dismiss as creepy house moment. Almost text Emily but refrain. Take melatonin, drift off quick, but I'm a light sleeper. Something wakes me. Check phone, bunch of texts from a random number. Must have been what woke me. Realize it's Emily. Paragraph apologizing, wants to talk, begging to see me tomorrow in person. Rest, are you awake? Wake up, repeated 8 times. No calls though. I reply, why are you awake right now? This is crazy, you're blowing me up at this hour. Honestly, if I wasn't sure before, these past few days alone confirmed I don't want anything to do with you. Just leave me alone. Seconds after sending, scream from the closet next to bed. Emily's voice yelling, no! Closet door bursts open. No time to think, jump out of bed, get the bedroom door open, get out. Door not locked anymore. Once out, I push door shut, hold it as she tries opening. She doesn't just try, she starts stabbing the door near me. In the moment, I decide to scream, baby, I love you, stop, instead of you're sick. When I say I love her, she stops, calms. I call 911 silently while holding the door. We talk through the door, 911 on the line. I make up on the spot, going through a rough time, love her, planning to get back. She says frantic, that's all I wanted to hear. Why couldn't you just be honest?
She asks to open the door. I stall, scared, want her to drop the knife. She agrees, tell her throw it across the room so I hear it land. I hear a clang ricocheting off wall to the floor. Yank door open, tackle her to the floor. She screams, fights, hysterical. I don't care. Hold her down, yell address into the phone still connected. Hold her until police arrive. They literally kick front door down, loud enough heard over her struggling upstairs. Police rush in, surprising number. Emily cuffed quick, hysterically crying. I think only reason I'm not crying is shock. Worst, most scarring night of my life. Nightmare doesn't end there. Long, serious legal process to convict her. Never wanted name or info out there for crime YouTube channels, so careful. Emily in prison for very serious charges. No part makes me happy. This was someone I spent time with every day, thought I loved, who tried to kill me. She wasn't right in the head. Still pains me how oblivious I was. Infatuated at first, lack of self-confidence made me miss alarming behaviors early. This will stick forever. Even anonymously, it feels good to finally get the story out.